In 1948, Israel was reborn as a nation in just one day. This fulfills the prophet Isaiah when he says, "Can a country be born in a day, or a nation be brought forth in a moment? Yet no sooner is Zion in labor than she gives birth to her children." The Bible talks about this regathering when Ezekiel says, "Whose people were gathered from many nations to the mountains of Israel, which had long been desolate." The rebirth of Israel is a sign that Christ is coming soon. However, the Bible also teaches that the Roman Empire must be reborn. Daniel 2 and Daniel 7 teach that there will be 4 empires that rise up in world history, one after another. In chapter 7, Daniel sees a vision of 4 empires symbolized by 4 beasts that come up out of the sea. However, God defeats the 4th beast and sets up an eternal kingdom. Daniel 2 describes the same 4 kingdoms, but from a different angle. King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of a giant statue. The statue's body had 4 sections, each of which represent a different empire. Then a rock hits the feet of the statue, causing it to come tumbling down. Daniel 2 tells us that the first empire is Babylon. Furthermore, imagery in Daniel 7 matches what we know from history of the second. Finally, the 4th kingdom is terrifying and dreadful, which matches what we know of the historical Roman Empire. If Babylon is the first empire, then the Roman Empire is the 4th kingdom. Conservative Bible scholars agree that the 4th kingdom is the Roman Empire. God destroys the final ruler of the Roman Empire when he sets up his eternal kingdom. But this poses a serious problem. The Roman Empire doesn't exist anymore. It was not violently destroyed when God set up a global kingdom. Did God's word fail? Let's take a closer look. Daniel 7 says, "I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man, and he came to the Ancient of Days and was presented before him. And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed." Jesus uses the same wording to describe his second coming. Jesus says, "And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." The Roman Empire is defeated at the second coming of Christ. In order for this to happen, it must be reborn in the end times. Well-known pastor and theologian, John MacArthur, said in 1980 that there will be a revival of the Roman Empire. We know from this map where the historical Roman Empire existed, but can we be more specific on the location of the end times Roman Empire? The final ruler of the revived Roman Empire is called the Antichrist. Daniel 11:40-45 describe his military conquests. The Antichrist is attacked by a powerful force north of Israel. Then he is attacked by Egypt, which is south of Israel. During his counterattack, the Antichrist eventually invades Israel. Then he goes on to take over various parts of North Africa. But if the Antichrist goes to war with all of these places, then where is he attacking from? Where is his home base from which he conducts his military operations? The only place left is Western Europe. This calls our attention to the European Union. In 1957, 6 European nations came together and signed the Treaty of Rome. This formed the basis for what the European Union is today. The European Union has many features of statehood, including a single currency, border-free travel, an executive branch that proposes laws, and its own legislature, the European Parliament. José Manuel Barroso, who was president of the EU's executive branch for 10 years, compared the EU to an empire. What we have is the first non-imperial empire. Daniel makes clear that the end times Roman Empire is not as strong or united as its historical counterpart. Instead, it will be a divided kingdom, partly of potter's clay and nation alliance in the area where the Roman Empire used to be. Dr. John Walvoord, former president of Dallas Theological Seminary, anticipated the formation of the revived Roman Empire. In 1995, a military alliance called the Western European Union became 10 member states. This alliance was a separate organization from the EU, but worked closely with it. Since the EU was not a military organization, EU members agreed to use the Western European Union as its defense component. The Bible uses the 10-horned beast to describe the context in which the Antichrist rises to power. "I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things." The angel interprets this vision for Daniel. "As for the 10 eyes, and another shall arise after them, he shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings." In 1998, document 666 proposed a new job title called the EU High Representative. This position did not have much power, but relied on the personality of the office holder. In 1999, Javier Solana was appointed as the EU's first High Representative. He was also appointed as the Secretary General of the 10-nation WEU. Since Javier Solana was appointed after the original 10-nation alliance was in place and had less power than them, It strongly fits the image of a little horn rising up among 10 larger horns. Javier Solana was supposed to represent the EU to the rest of the world. The new job was supposed to be like a foreign minister or secretary of state, but without as much power. However, the EU3, composed of France, the UK, and Germany, wanted to dictate EU foreign policy on their own. They were even accused of a power grab by other EU countries when they tried to hold their own special meeting to decide the EU's future. The EU3 played a very big role in the negotiations over Iran's nuclear program. Initially, when meeting with the Iranians, they left Solana behind. Nevertheless, some countries complained about this, and